Let's bring in our panel. Sarah Isgur Flores, Deputy Communications Director for the RNC, and Ellis Henican, TV and radio commentator. Ellis, Nancy Pelosi has been quick to come to her boss's defense on this issue. Take a listen to what she had to say, and I want to get your reaction on the back end.
We've had this conversation before, and I will again call to your attention our op-ed that we wrote that says the president not only has the legal authority to act, but all the precedents of presidents before.
All right, Ellis, legal or not, what do you think? Is she basically advocating ramming immigration reform through, or you think there's some bipartisan cooperation that we'll see in the next couple of weeks?
There's no bipartisan cooperation. Let me ask you so, who is Nancy Pelosi's boss? I don't understand. She's the Speaker of the House. The only people she reports to are the other members of the House.
Well, I think the basic gist right there is that we were saying that a lot of times that she's pretty much carrying out the president's agenda in Congress. I think that's what we were trying to get to there.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely in the same party. They share some views. Let me tell you what Democrats hope for, Rick. They hope that the president will put in a good, strong policy in terms of getting some of these folks a path to citizenship, and that Republicans will then be forced over the next 2 years to try and take away from 5 million or 10 million newly legal Americans the rights that they have received from President Obama. That is a almost suicidal political mission for Republicans. And so if after Latinos get these legal rights, Republicans want to spend the next 2 years trying to take them away from this large and important voting bloc, I say have at it. It'll make 2016 real interesting.
Well, Sarah, I want you to comment on that. I mean, we're already talking about presidential politics, right? We're just like, what, 10 days away from after the midterms. Do you think that if the Republicans go too hardline on this, that it could hurt their perspective in the presidential election coming up?
Well, a couple things. One, if the president thought this was such great politics, he would have done it before the election. Instead, he said he was going to do it before the election and then said he was going to delay it until after the election. So I think the White House knows that this isn't going to be great politics for them. They just don't care. And two, like the Free Beacon video said, this has been a talking points president. He will say anything to get his point across. He thought it was unconstitutional before, but now he thinks he can do it. I think the American people see through that sort of cynicism, hypocrisy. I'm not exactly sure what the right word is, but it's not a positive word.
And along those lines, Senator Mitch McConnell had a very different view of the president's immigration plan. Take a listen to this.
I've been very disturbed about the way the president has proceeded in the wake of the election, whether it was his intervention on net neutrality, his apparent decision to move ahead on immigration with executive orders, the rather ridiculous agreement with the Chinese under which they basically have to do nothing for the next 16 years while we're losing jobs in this country as a result of EPA's overregulation.
You know, there was sort of that moment the couple days after the midterms where everybody kind of came together. Does it sound like, though, Sarah, that Mitch McConnell would be willing to work with the president on anything, immigration reform or anything, maybe the financial situation of the country?
I think Republicans are eager to work with the president on Keystone Pipeline, some of the transportation and infrastructure issues that Senator McConnell had mentioned before. Oddly, what we saw after the election is the president, Leader Pelosi, seeming to think that the election went the other way. I don't know what they saw on Tuesday night, but there's almost been a lurch to the left from this White House and from Speaker Pelosi. It's baffling to me.
All right, I'm interested to get Ellis's take, and we're going to hear that right after the break. Plenty to talk about. You mentioned the Keystone Pipeline. I want to get your thoughts on that because the president really touched on that this morning during a news conference from Burma. And as always, we want to hear from you, our viewers. Contact us with Twitter, email, or Facebook. You can see the information right there on the screen. Hope you're having a great day, everyone.